Alright, you've read the title. We are finally gonna put this age-old debate to rest once and for all. And what better way to do that than pitting these two titans head to head in a fight to the death. In this corner, bringing joyful and decisive brand loyalty to children for multiple generations, the home console. And in this corner, the progenitor of a generation of smug users who definitely didn't take a second mortgage to afford its core components at one point in time, the PC Master Race! Or we can skip all that and just break it down here. When it comes to consoles, the main thing is that they're essentially engineered for one thing and one thing only. Yeah, they do other things like stream content and play music, but the bread and butter of a gaming console's existence is creating an addictive void that you'll sink all your time and money into at the cost of interpersonal relationships while helplessly watching your life implode on itself. That's right, gaming. So, long story short, consoles are designed from the ground up with that guiding principle. So rather than slapping together a modular amalgam of different parts, you have a custom-made machine composed of proprietary ones specifically geared towards every other part. Because a console's purpose and design are straightforward compared to a PC, there's less room for error, barring any defects of course. And because you have one cohesive unit, creating and optimizing software for that unit, whether it's on one or millions of machines, performance should be uniform across the board. Speaking of uniformity is the price. Aside from specific model or bundle differences, the base price is typically the same and is overall much lower than a similarly spec'd PC. Now, one of the main cons, unfortunately, is servicing your console should you experience hardware failure. Sure, having a warranty is great, until it expires. Swapping out a bad part could be a costly nightmare. Most regular people aren't going to have the in-depth knowledge or easy access to certain parts. To be fair, modern consoles do allow simple, minor self-upgrades, like storage, but most people will be limited to just that. Now, moving on to PC. Things get more interesting as we are now burdened with choice, and with a plethora of parts to choose from, you can freely customize your machine to fit your needs, and then some. The first issue with this, unfortunately, is going to be the price. After all, this freedom isn't free. The very nature of PC parts is centered on modularity and being multi-purpose. So if you wanted to swap out a bad part or just make a simple upgrade, you could easily do that. Simply put, a PC can do more, so it's going to cost more. Even if you tailor-make a machine more fit for gaming, you'd still be able to run a whole bunch of other software outside of that. Which does come in handy if you happen to be a gamer and a content creator, for example, or just need one machine that can wear many hats. But of course, one of the main reasons to become a slave to the PC Master Race after all are the performance perks. While consoles might give you anywhere from 60 to 120 frames, if you're lucky, and 4K, that beefy PC will allow much higher frame rates, all at crisp and true higher resolutions. Pair that with a high refresh rate monitor and you too can be glad you blew through your entire tax refund. The other reason why you'd want a PC over a console are all the mods. Everything from restoring lost content to building upon the existing world and lore being stepped on. Memeing the absolute shit out of your playthrough simply adds that chef's kiss to your experience. Again, the main con here is the higher barrier to entry, especially considering how each individual part is more subject to the ebb and flow of the free market, a feeling many enthusiasts remember from not too long ago. On top of that, troubleshooting can be a nightmare. Is there a dead component? Not sure. Is the CPU seated correctly? Your guess is as good as mine. Is it a driver issue? Who the f knows? These are things you're gonna have to consider. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention exclusives, After all, your platform of choice at some point was determined by its available software. But things are starting to change. While titles like Gears of War and Spider-Man were exclusive to Xbox and Sony respectively for years, both would end up getting released on the Windows platform. If you were already gaming on PC, you would have access to both as well as all other titles available on Windows. A gaming PC might be a better bang for your buck, barring any bad PC ports. Looking at you, Arkham Knight. Now, of course, if you only play a few games that are available on a specific console, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that if that works for you. With the exception of Nintendo, because they're Nintendo, you might find it difficult to justify buying a modern console, especially when certain companies are notorious for making anti-consumer decisions. While it's obvious I have rendered my soul to the PC master race, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And if you want to hear me ramble on about PC related content, then mosey on over to this video right here.